Have you ever felt your patience thinning before the day has even fully begun? Maybe you wake up and feel off somehow, grumpy even. Perhaps it happens in traffic, or in a slow-moving line you are climbing out of your skin, or during a conversation where you feel misunderstood and you can feel your anger rising. Maybe it shows up quietly, a tension in your chest, a short response, a sigh you didn't mean to release. Patience often feels like something we lose, as if it's a limited resource that drains with every inconvenience. And when it runs out, frustration steps in to take its place. But what if patience isn't something you either have or don't have? What if it's something you practice, something you build, something you return to, moment by moment? Today's inner weather forecast is patience. Patience is often mistaken for passivity, for endless waiting, for tolerating what we don't like. But true patience is not weakness, and it is not resignation. It is emotional steadiness. It is the ability to pause between stimulus and response. It is strength under control. Patience is what allows you to choose your reaction instead of being driven by impulse. It is quiet power. When patience is present, the day feels different. There is space between events. There is room to breathe. When patience is absent, everything feels urgent, personal, irritating, heavy. So how do we use patience when it feels like we have none left and are ready to explode? First, we must recognize that impatience is usually a signal. It often points to unmet or hidden expectations, which sneak up on us. We expect the traffic to move faster. We expect the email to arrive sooner. We expect the person to understand us immediately. Beneath impatience is often the thought, this should be different. Patience begins when we soften that thought. It sounds like, this is what's happening right now. This delay is temporary. I can handle this moment. That shift may seem small, but it changes everything. Throughout the day, patience can be practiced in very practical ways. In the morning, when you first wake up, notice the pace you set. Do you immediately rush, scroll, react? Or can you give yourself 60 seconds of stillness before the world enters and set your intentions for the day while being grateful? Patience begins with how gently you enter your own day. Before you speak, before you check messages, before demands arrive, a slow inhale, a longer exhale. That is patience in action. When you're driving and traffic slows unexpectedly, instead of tightening your grip on the steering wheel, try this. Unclench your jaw. Relax your shoulders. Turn the delay into a pause. Perhaps it becomes a moment to reflect, to listen to something calming, to simply observe your surroundings. Traffic becomes an opportunity instead of an obstacle. In conversations, patience is perhaps most powerful. Instead of preparing your response while someone else is speaking, try listening fully. Notice the urge to interrupt. Let it pass. Allow silence after they finish. Silence is not awkward, it is space. And space invites understanding. Patience in conversation builds trust, depth, and connection. Are you a good listener, or do you drift when someone else is sharing? Or are you thinking about what you need to do next? This is a sure sign that you're rushing. Take a breath. Learn to slow down. When you feel overwhelmed by a long to-do list, patience looks like focusing on one task instead of 5. It is the refusal to rush your own effort. Multitasking may feel efficient, but it often increases stress, and stress can lead to illness. Patience narrows your attention. It says, this one thing right now. Completion becomes steadier. The mind becomes quieter. Slowing down is okay. A shorter to-do list might be the answer. In parenting, or caregiving of any kind, patience is sacred. Children move at a different rhythm. They ask repeated questions. They take time. Instead of viewing their pace as inconvenient, what if we saw it as grounding? Their slowness forces us to slow down. Their repetition invites clarity. Patience here is love expressed through restraint. At work, patience can prevent unnecessary conflict. When an email feels abrupt or critical, instead of responding immediately, step away. Take a minute to think about your reply before you draft it. Let it sit. Reread it later. Emotional reactions cool when given time, and most emotions only really last 90 seconds or so. Test it. Let it pass. Patience protects professionalism and relationships. When learning something new, patience is the bridge between effort and mastery. We often want competence immediately, but growth requires practice and repetition. Mistakes, correction. Try viewing errors not as failure, but as feedback. Patience says, this takes time, and time is allowed. It's till progress. Even in physical discomfort, standing in line, waiting at an appointment, sitting through something tedious, patience can be practiced physically. Notice your breathing. Feel your feet on the ground. Observe details around you. Patience transforms waiting into awareness. And perhaps, most importantly, patience with yourself may be the most difficult and the most necessary. We grow frustrated when we don't change fast enough, when habits resurface, when progress feels slow. But transformation is rarely dramatic or loud. It is incremental, like going to the gym. Quiet, gradual. Patience with yourself sounds like, I am still learning. It looks like forgiving small missteps. It feels like continuing despite imperfection. Impatience often carries an underlying fear. Fear of wasted time, fear of being behind, fear of losing control. But patience reassures us. Not everything requires urgency. Not everything is a crisis. Many things resolve in their own timing. There is also a difference between patience and avoidance. Patience does not mean ignoring problems. It does not mean tolerating mistreatment or staying silent when boundaries are needed. True patience works alongside clarity. It allows thoughtful action rather than reactive action. Throughout the day, you can practice micro moments of patience. Pause before answering a difficult question. Wait one extra breath before reacting. Let someone merge into traffic. Stand in the longer line without resentment. Choose not to correct someone unnecessarily. Resist checking your phone immediately. Allow someone else to finish their thought. Each small act strengthens the muscle. Because patience is a muscle. The more it is exercised, the stronger it becomes. And the more patient we become, the more resilient we feel. Life rarely moves at the pace we prefer. Everyone seems to be a huge hurry, yet delays happen. People disappoint us. Plans change. Patience allows flexibility. It creates emotional cushioning. It reduces the wear and tear of daily friction. You may also notice that impatience often coincides with exhaustion. When you are tired, hungry, overstimulated or stressed, patience runs thin. That is not a moral failure. It is human biology. So another way to practice patience is to care for your energy. Adequate rest and proper nourishment. Take breaks from screens and take a walk outside. Moments of quiet. When your body is regulated, your emotions follow more easily. Patience also invites perspective. Ask yourself, will this even matter tomorrow, next week, next year? We get so attached to our position. Many irritations shrink under that question. Not all, but many. Perspective widens the frame. And sometimes patience simply means allowing uncertainty. Not knowing the outcome yet. Not having immediate answers. Trusting that clarity unfolds. This doesn't mean you never feel frustrated. You will. We all do. But frustration does not have to dictate your behavior. You can notice it, name it, breathe through it. That space between feeling and reaction is where patience lives. You may find it helpful to create a simple internal cue throughout your day. A phrase like, slow down, or take a breath, or this can wait until later. Better yet, I choose calm. Repeat these when needed. Let them anchor you. Over time, patience changes your internal climate. The storms still come, but they move through more gently. The wind does not knock you over as easily. The emotional forecast becomes steadier. Patience also improves decision-making. Quick reactions are often rooted in emotion. Measured responses are rooted in intention. When you pause, you access wisdom rather than impulse. And perhaps most beautifully, patience communicates respect to yourself and to others. It says, "This moment deserves my steadiness." It says, "I value peace over urgency." If you imagine your day as a series of small crossroads, each one offering a reactive path or a patient path, you will begin to see how often you have a choice. The patient path is rarely dramatic. It is subtle, quiet, unseen by most, but its effects accumulate. Less regret, fewer harsh words, clearer thinking, stronger relationships, lower stress. Patience does not make life slower. It makes life steadier, and steadiness builds confidence. So today, when patience feels in short supply, remember that it is not gone. It is simply waiting to be chosen. One breath, one pause, one softened expectation at a time. You do not have to master it all at once. Begin with one moment, one interaction, one delay. Practice there. Thank you for spending this time with me and with yourself. As you move through your day, remember that patience is strength expressed quietly. It is not weakness. It is not surrender. It is the calm hand on the wheel when the road curves unexpectedly. Wherever today takes you, remember, inner weather shifts, storms pass, and the sun will shine again. If you found something here that resonated with you or offered you a new way to approach your day, consider liking and subscribing. Your support allows this quiet space to continue and help others gain important insights. Until next time, remember your north, south, east, and west. You are noble, you are special, you are enough, and you are worthy.